Hey, my name is Carson McKinney. I am a freelance comic artist slash inker slash freelance artist. Recently graduated from SCAD in May of this year. So I'm a recent graduate of the sequential art department. A little bit about myself. I started getting into comic books around like the age of 6 or 7. I started reading books like normal kids books like Captain Underpants, stuff like Teacher from the Black Lagoon. Those are some works that I actually really enjoyed growing up. I used to make like little stories with those characters. I used to do, I remember I did a comic where it was like Captain Underpants and like some guy had like a pizza for a face. I remember doing that sort of comic in like first grade, and I really enjoyed doing that. So I've always had a love for storytelling, but the process of inking really, the comics that really started it for me, like that made me really appreciate inking, were 2 books really. The first one was Batman Under the Red Hood. It's one of my favorite Batman stories, and the inkers for this one were Tom Wynn and Mark Morales, who Mark Morales I think is one of the best inkers going right now in the business in terms of superhero comics. See what they're doing in these pages is just let me give you all an example. So like right here, I think you don't see that, but like the way Tom is inking in these pages, when I first saw these pages I was like, oh my god, like it just showed me how important inking is to the comic making aspect. And I actually got to meet Tom Wynn at Heroes Con recently, and lovely guy. Can't say enough nice things about him. And then the second comic that I loved and appreciated, and it's one of my favorite comics of all time, you gotta go with The Crow. It's very personal to me. It's a story that I love so much. Like I remember seeing this, I originally saw the movie, everyone knows the movie, but I didn't know it was based on a comic series. So I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And it was like sophomore year of high school. I just loved the artwork. Like James O'Barr, what he's doing here with his inking is exceptional. Like I love the different types of textures he's doing. He does a lot of screen tones as well and a lot of brushwork in his inks, which I really, really love. So that's a little bit about me, but I'm still in Savannah right now. I'm actually the artist in residence right now for Neighborhood Comics for the month of November. If you get a chance in Savannah to stop by and say hi, say hi. But the first thing I want to say about inking is that inking is not tracing. There's a common misconception between general comic audiences who like don't really like appreciate the artwork aspect of it, where they're like, oh, inking's just tracing, you're just tracing over someone's pencils. No, inking is taking someone's pencils, whether it's your own pencils or someone else's pencils, and really adapting to that, elevating their artwork while also making it your own. And that's something that I really, 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 really believe when it comes to inking, is that you're taking your work or someone else's work and you're elevating it while also making it your own. So I think you look at inkers, like very famous inkers like Klaus Janson, Joe Sinnott, Al Williamson, inkers that are looking at people's pencils and sort of interpreting them in their own voice and their own style. So I think inking is so crucial because, you know, traditionally in superhero comics, mainstream comics, you're looking at the writer, the penciler, the inker, the colorist, the letterer, and of course the editor. But nowadays with artists now doing their own inks and pencils, it's kind of, I don't say it's impossible, but it's getting harder and harder to be just an inker today in the comic space. Usually it's just people doing their own pencils and inks, but it's not impossible. There is a way for you to get in to the industry by just being an inker. If you have a penciler that you're friends with, that you want to collaborate on something with, that is always a really good way to get in. Me personally, I tend to practice a lot of inking. I'm like always in my apartment, just fiercely going at pages and just really, really trying to understand the whole aspect of it. A really good book that I actually would recommend to people in terms of inking and like how to get better at it is Rendering in Pen to Ink. This was on Amazon for like $25, I think. It's a really good book. Actually, when I was at Heroes Con in June, I actually met Scott Hanna. Scott Hanna is a very popular inker. Works a lot with John Romita Jr. on Spider-Man, Daredevil, etc. And he recommended this book. It's a really good book if you want to get to learn how to do different textures, different ways of inking environments in particular. So it talks about light sources. I can see that. It talks about light sources and like different ways to convey mood with inking environments in particular. So I highly recommend this book if you want to better your inking and just understand the concepts a little bit more. Another one that I also recommend is Drawing in Pen and Ink. I don't know if I could probably got some SCAD students in the group chat. If you took Ralph for Matt Tech or any other professor for Matt Tech, they probably recommended Rendering in Pen and Ink for one of the books to read. I would highly recommend that as well. That is a very good book. Just again, understanding the concepts and the basics of inking. So now that's all the way. Now that that's all out of the way, what materials do you use for inking? So let's say, let me role play here. If you're an artist going to a convention and you're looking to show just your inking, right? You're looking to show your inking portfolio to an artist. The number one question you're going to get from inkers is, what materials do you ink with? That is the number one question you will always get. So for inking, again, this is like baby's first inking. It's really just brush and nib are the go-tos for a lot of inkers. Traditionally, these are the tools that will get you to succeed in inking. Another one is also technical pens such as microns. I always break down inking into two categories: organic and non-organic. So let's say I'm inking something like a person, and I'm inking their hair. Now, if I'm trying to ink their hair, I'm not trying to use a micron for that. I could, don't get me wrong. You could use a micron, but if you want to get those like strands and that sort of wispy texture, I would recommend using a brush for that. Now, let's say you're drawing Optimus Prime and you have to do all the little mechanical parts on it. I would probably recommend doing a micron, but whatever material works best for you, go for it. I remember I actually originally went to SVA before transferring to SCAD in fall of 2022, and I remember taking an inking class there, and the professor was like, well, what materials do you use? And at that point, I had only used like brush pens, like not even like the Pentel pocket brush pens or the Tombow Fudensuke's. It was really like, I was using like the uni brush pens, and I remember him having like a heart attack, and he was like, no, don't use that. Use brush and nib. And I was like, okay. So, started out using brush and nib. I really liked using brush. So, the brush that I have in particular is the Winsor Newton Series 7. I don't know if y'all can see that. Very good brush, very versatile. I love it so much. You get a lot of differentiating line weights with it. Some people use the Raffaello brushes. No hate towards Raffaello. It's just, this is my preference when inking because I've used it the longest. I'm a creature of habit. This is the brush I primarily use. If I'm feeling very lazy sometimes, I will use the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. I love the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. I will die by the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. It is very versatile as well. It's less having to like clean up your brush and stuff, which I find helpful. So that's a good tool to use as well if you're just wanting to use something that's a little bit more alternative than having to use like an actual brush. Now, in terms of nibs, I have a whole variety of nibs. I tend to use the Speedball nibs, or sometimes I'll use the Hunt nibs. I think this one is Speedball. And for nibs, you're really going to have two different types of holders for the nibs. You're going to have these large nib holders right here. And for like smaller nibs, you would usually get these like circular ones. The difference is that you have these sort of like outlines of a hole instead of having the actual hole in them. For the tinier ones, you will have the hole in them. But yeah, that's the different types of nibs that you can use. Nibs are a pain sometimes to clean with any material like brush. Brushes are usually easier to clean. It's just the nibs that get a little bit trickier because it's like gets in the cracks and the crevices of the little nibs. So it's like, ooh. In terms of everything else, you've got stuff like straight edges, which you're gonna need. You can use T-squares if you want, but I usually just use like a straight edge ruler. I actually got this a few months ago. This is what I usually use, or just like a straight edge ruler if you want to get those like clean lines. French curves are very important. I remember taking Dove's constructive anatomy class, and he was like, use French curves. So I was like, okay, so I swear by these as well. They're really good at getting really good curves as well with your work. Another one is, let's say you're doing like bubbles or something, I don't know, but if you want to do like a circular shape, I would obviously get templates. Don't try to freehand it. It's gonna look not good. And then in terms of like storage for your nibs, what I usually do is I get these little like art bin thingies, and I just store my nibs in there just so I am organized and I just know where everything is. A weird experiment or method that you can use while inking is also cotton swabs. Now hear me out. Dexter Vines, who's a very prominent inker for Marvel, DC, every company ever. Love his work. I actually follow him on Instagram. On his Instagram page, he talks about using cotton swabs for inking, and I'll show you later on like how that works. But yeah, that is basically everything I have. This is my toolbox. It's very big. It's very big. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. Now, super important, what ink do you use? Now, I have two different types of ink here. I have the one that I always use, which is the Winsor Newton Black India ink. Everyone's probably used this, or you can use Higgins Black Magic. You know, because there's a little spider on the cover. I use this a lot when inking. Another ink that you can use that I was actually recommended by another inker was Speedball Super Black. I've heard this is a good ink. I haven't used it yet, so I can't really comment on it, but he also said that's a really good ink to use for inking. So starting out, you're gonna have your page, obviously, and you're gonna have whatever materials you need, obviously your ink, and you're gonna have whatever else you need, like straight edges, French curves, and little templates. So I'm just gonna tilt this down real quick.
I can move the whole thing.
Okay.
So it gives you a little bit more room to see.
Yeah, no worries. All right. So right now I'm inking this page by Netho Diaz. I love his work. He's a really good penciler for Marvel right now. He did an X-Men series that I actually really love. And I really love his penciling style. I actually inked one of his pages recently. Let me find that page real quick. I actually inked one of his pages recently. It was this X-Men page. That's the X-Men page that I did recently. His work's really good. Love his penciling style. Yeah, so this is the page that I'm currently working on. It's a X-Men page. Started to do some brush work on it a little bit. Mostly I've been doing a lot of nib work on this because when I see Netho's pencils, I really feel like it's very gritty, and so I think the tool that I think personally would work best would be nib. So we're just gonna start with that. Also, it helps to have a little page of like, if you're an inker, you're gonna have these little like marks on your page. It's basically practice. It's basically helping you control your line weights, and it's just helping you find different like techniques and stuff like that before you're actually going on the page. So you give yourself a little bit of practice before you're actually going on the page right here. All right. So let me get my ink. Now, when you're inking, you want to make sure that you're not having like the bottle open the whole time, because that's not good. Ink will dry out. There. All right, so what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm just gonna practice some lines real quick. All right. I'm just gonna go at it. So if y'all have any questions in the chat, feel free to ask me anything. Probably gonna have to do this maybe for like an hour. We'll see. It's my first time doing one of these, so we'll see how that goes. And once again, I cannot stress enough my thanks to Lee and everyone at Neighborhood Comics for allowing this opportunity. Yeah, so a big thing as well when you're inking is to also flip the page while inking. It just makes you like multitask a little bit. It freshens up your eyes a bit while you're also inking the page, which helps a lot. Like I said, let's flip the page. Let's try. And I can't stress enough the importance of line weights. with inking. That's the number one feedback that I received, because I actually got the opportunity to go to New York Comic Con recently, and that was the biggest feedback that I got, was differentiating line weights. So I'm still in that struggle right now of trying to differentiate my line weights, but it will be better. So that's always something to keep in mind as an inker in general, just for your artwork, to just try to differentiate some line weights so you can have the difference between foreground and background, stuff like that. Do you tend to lean a certain way when you're making decisions on versus objects and descriptions? Usually with inking, that's a great question. Usually with inking, I tend to attack it. Sorry, just trying to see the full question. I usually ink based on line, honestly. That's usually how I do it. It's a bit of line plus also object value separations. The difference between foreground, background, light versus dark, contrast, stuff like that. That's definitely something that I tend to focus on. Like, I tend to think of everything as like a shape. So like, for example, this panel right here with like the guy's face, I tend to think of those shadows as shapes and then just go in like that. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question or not, but it does. Okay, awesome. Just making sure. Yeah, but yeah, I can't stress enough the importance of organic versus non-organic. I can't stress that enough with inking. Like, for example, I'm using a nib for this person running through this forest. Probably use nib for most of this. If I may try to go in with some micron a little bit just to get some differentiating textures. But for right now, I'm just gonna go with nib for this one. Do you have a favorite nib? Any particular, or I just like to get out? I love hatching. That is my favorite method of inking. I could hatch for days and go feral. I don't care. You could lock me in a room and just say go hatch, and I'd be like, okay. So hatching's my favorite method of inking. In terms of nibs, there's really no wrong answer. I mean, it just basically is whatever works for you and whatever size line quality you're trying to get. They're pretty versatile. I recommend either Speedball or G-Nibs, I think, or Hunt. Those are the other companies that have as well as Deleter. Deleter also has nibs. That's another good company. That's for some pretty good nibs. So I would recommend either Deleter, Hunt, or Speedball. Hopefully that answers your question. I'm not the best when it comes to giving clear answers. Of course. Make sure you get all the ink on the nib. There we go. Turn the page, as Bob Seeker once said. So right now I'm just going to go on with this nib and just get these textures on this wall right here. It's like this wood grain sort of texture. I tend to flop around a lot when it comes to inking. I tend to just like redirect myself and just like bounce from like panel to panel. It really depends on. I know some people that would just work on one panel at a time. That's your style. No shade towards you for that. Yes, I am left-handed. I am the cursed one. I am the one that gets the like smears on my hand whenever I try to draw with a pencil, and it sucks. I need to invest in a one of those like little guards for your hands. It's like non-smear. But yeah, I am left-handed. You don't really see a lot of left-handed inkers. He's not real. I am real. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks, Gabby. Yeah, it's I don't think it's really anything about like what hand you use to draw with. I think regardless, your hand's gonna smudge a little bit while drawing or inking. But yeah, I'm trying to get ink on this nib. It's being a little tricky. Yeah. I don't think it's too much to bounce around the page. I think it's just your brain just making sure that you're like kind of varying it up a little bit. I don't think it's too much in that sense. It's good to, you know, the phrase variety is the spice of life. I think that is a big proponent of inking. It's also just so you don't get bored just inking up like one panel by yourself, one panel at a time. Yeah. Again, I am turning the page around again just so I can just get some differentiation. Yeah. Bombay, I've never used Bombay, but I've heard that's good. Also, when I was talking about smudging, I don't know if y'all can see. Yes. It's like right here. Which is not a big deal. Don't worry. Don't break down. It happens with inking. Switch off to brush right now. So I usually like water it down until it's like at this tip. I usually ink like this. Sometimes, recently I've been doing it like this, which is weird, but it helps me. So go in, pentel, and just black out this area. Because with inking, sometimes you will find, I've been told by professional artists to, let's say you're penciling a page and it's going to be, one object's going to be all black, like let's say this area, shade it in. First, just use your pencil and just scribble it in. You'll see some pencilers will actually do something like this, where they'll put like an X on it, which means for the inker, that means fill this in with black. I would recommend starting out, if you're not signed by DC or Marvel, just pencil it in roughly. It's motivation, honestly, it's fun. And if you ever get tired of like using this for like blacking out a whole thing, what I usually recommend as well, this Faber-Castell brush. It's a very thick nib to it. I don't know, but it's usually good with like blacking out like large areas.
Sure. All of my cards are very blurry. Oh, yeah, my everything. Yeah, I work for it. Black chat area about this. So I'd say I'll just give you one of these guys because it's got all of our socials, all of our websites. The guy can checks everything. That's easy.
Kendrick, take care, man. This 08 and just do some hatching work.
Yeah.
For y'all that are just joining, hello. I'm just inking this Netho Diaz X-Men page right now. If y'all can see this, but I'm just hatching this right now. Trying to build up those values as best I can. Yeah, no, I think y'all can see. Hold up. Try to move it a little bit this way. Hope you don't see that. Trying to move it. Try this way. There we go. Just trying to build it up right now. because with hatching, you can either do it with nibs or you can do it with microns. I just find it easier to do microns. I usually do the black first and then I just go in with the hatching. But it's totally up to you. If you want to go hatching first, then go in with the solid black, then it's perfectly okay. Oh, thanks, y'all. I appreciate it. So here I'm gonna use my French curve, and I'm gonna just try to line it up with this curve right here that he's got going on. Alright.
Did you see Superman and Supergirl either? Oh, I know. I heard you say something. Wow, cheering up there. When what? I don't know. Yeah, it's nice. It's I should know. So it's 24:59, please. I've done that. My sister been there for years. Yeah.
This one again. I go in with my micro. Just do this outline of this tree. I know I said think about it in two different categories, organic and non-organic. Definitely for some stuff you can definitely freehand. You don't have to actually stick to just one material. Again, I talk about using brush and nib for organic stuff. It's okay to also use micron for some of that stuff if it helps you control your lines a little better. If you're feeling anxious about using brush for something like this tree outline, then it's no worry. You can literally just, if you feel more comfortable using a micron, use a micron and just keep practicing with brush, and then you'll get to that level of okay, I'm gonna go with brush and just it's very much a practice thing with any aspect of the comic making process. Just takes practice.
course, good to see you. Go home with the rest. Hey there. Let me know if I can help you at all.
I'm like going with the 12, which is like the biggest size you can get for a micron. Or something. Going with this is filling like this black area. With this area right here, which is all like silhouettes really of the environment, I'm just going to outline it a little bit and then get the basic outlines and shapes of it and then fill it in with black, because as the inker I'm looking at the pencil right here and it's obviously telling me, okay, I need to fill all this in with black because they filled it all in with black. So I really think of inking as like a puzzle that you just need to figure out where some pieces go and just figuring it out along the way. I know for stuff like this, I never really talked about how to find pencils like this. So a good way to find them is usually sometimes the artist will just post them on places like Twitter or Instagram. Usually they'll post their pencils, and then what you can do is you can just take a screenshot, and then if you are able to get a printer or have one nearby, print it out on 11x17, use Bristol paper. I just used the 11x17 Carson Bristol paper, and then what I usually do is the pencils and the images usually are just the standard pencils, which is like gray. So what I do is I go into clip and I convert it to blue line, and it's really easy to do. All I really need to do for clip is go into the little layer area where it's like the two little separate layer areas, and then just change it to blue, and it'll change your pencils to blue line. So that way once you print them out and then traditionally ink them, once you go back into scanning them, the blue line will go away. So it's a little easier to scan rather than having to ink over the gray pencils and then trying to scan that and then the gray just showing up everywhere. So for those of y'all just joining in, I'm doing an inking demo. I'm just doing these Netho DS pencils right now. I'm going to change it up a little bit. So I talked about before about these cotton swaps, right? And I was like, what am I going to use these cotton swaps for? And I'm going to show you. So if you just take a little bit, let's do this, of a cotton swab, and you put it in ink, right? What you can do is, I mean, it's pretty wasteful because it's cotton swabs, but there's two ends to it, so you could use either end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this area here. I'm just going to black it out. And it just saves you some time. Because if you have like a big area, you're not really focusing on, oh my god, I need to do this line right here. You don't have to think about that. Just think about the space you got right here. So it's really easy to use. And I first saw this, I was like, what? I'm just gonna get in. Usually what I do is, so basically I'll use Q-tip or brush pen or the Faber-Castell to do these like black area.
This is.
I don't know if y'all can see that. I mean to. There you go. Yeah, we see it. Okay. Yeah, just for that black area. Yeah, that's what I usually do, and then I'll go in with a 12 and I'll just like fill out the rest. Yeah, again, don't worry if it smudges a little bit. You can always go back in and, use correction pens. Usually for correction pens, I use a go-to, which is the Presto Jumbo correction pen. It's fine point. All you have to do is shake it and then it's open like that, and then go off clean. And so, yeah. That's usually what I use. That's my method for like large black areas. Also, if y'all are interested in following me and checking out some more stuff that I'll be doing around the store, like what days I'll be in, what stuff I have for sale, make sure to follow me at Carson H. McKinney on Instagram. That's where I'll be. I'll be posting some stuff.
Also, of course, would you like bags of boards for your new times, or just some sleeves? It's like that. Do you have an account? So, yeah, also, we got here the last name of this lessons. Let's see. LUTSA. Awesome.
For those of y'all just joining, I'm just inking a Netho Diaz X-Men page right now. Currently the artist in residence for the month of November over here at Neighborhood. Just sharing some tips and tricks on how to ink for comics. And yeah, just probably gonna run this thing till maybe like 5:30. So we've been going for like about an hour now. But if y'all have any questions in the chat, just let me know. I'll make sure to answer them. So awesome. Oh, thank you so much. How's it going, man?
Would you like a printed female receipt today? Or would you like look at it.
Again, if y'all want to check out more of my inking portfolio stuff, what I'm up to in the store, or anything in general, if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot me a follow on Instagram at Carson H. McKinney. That's where we post them, and I'll be posting some more stuff. So I've got all that covered. Let me see. I think I want to go in and hatch some more. For y'all that's just joining, I'm just inking this Netho Diaz page right now for this X-Men page. If y'all have any questions about inking or anything like that, just let me know. Send a question in the chat or anything if you want to say anything. Also, if you want to keep updated on what's going on in the store, because I'll be the artist residence for the month of November. Follow me at Carson H. McKinney on Instagram to check out, see what hours I'll be in the store, to see what I'll be doing. Hello. Thank you so much, Ellie. Appreciate it.
Definitely where it should be if we have it.
Jealous of me? I don't believe that. But I'm gonna work on this area right here of the silhouette of this tree. Hey y'all, for those that just joined, I'm just inking this X-Men page right now. Not my pencils. Gotta make sure to tell you that. Not my pencils, just doing an inking demo. If you have any questions or anything about inking, just drop a question in the chat. If you're interested in seeing more of my inking stuff, just what else I'll be doing, because I'll be here in the store for the whole month of November. Just make sure to give me a follow on Instagram at Carson H. McKinney to see more of my stuff. Answer any questions about artist in residence or what's going on in the month of November, feel free to hit me up at Carson H. McKinney on Instagram. You can also check the Neighborhood Comics page as well. I will be also reposting my stories of like when I'll be in the store and stuff like that. But again, I can't thank y'all enough. So I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all later. See y'all.